Welcome to day one of the Festive FODMAP series, where I'll be talking all things FODMAP in 5 minutes or less. Today we're looking at low FODMAP portions of vegetables typically eaten at this time of year. Let's start with the veg often eaten as a side dish during a classic roast dinner. These vegetables have tested as low FODMAP up to 500 grams, so most of us can pretty much expect to be able to eat our fill without experiencing FODMAP reactions. These vegetables used to be listed in the Monash app as eat freely, but recently Monash has started moving away from the idea of free foods and food being free from FODMAPs and have changed their terminology. So on this list we have carrots, collard greens, leek leaves, the dark green parts only, parsnips, potatoes including white, yellow or red, Japanese pumpkin, also known as Kent pumpkin or Kabocha squash depending on what it's called where you're from, patty pan squash and Swiss chard. So hopefully you can see some familiar foods there that could easily make up the bulk of your plate, and you don't need to miss out on all those typical festive side dishes. For me, I'd quite happily fill up on mashed potatoes, roast potatoes, maple roasted carrots, parsnips and Kent pumpkin, and I'd make the most of the leek greens in a veggie gravy. It's making me hungry just thinking about it. Now, onto the vegetables that probably won't be the star of the festive table, but that we might typically see as sides, salads, snacks and appetizers, and these are all low FODMAP up to 500 grams. Beetroot, the pickled type only, hearts of palm that have been canned, lettuce, most types except butter and radicchio, rocket, olives, green or black, and radish. So you might put these in a side salad or, say for example, have some olives laid out with nibbles and drinks before the main meal. Now let's move on to the more substantial list, which includes all of the vegetables considered green light low FODMAP foods, but they do require portion control to stop them from creeping up into the realms of moderate to high FODMAP. So these wouldn't be the vegetables that you choose to pile your plate with, but they can play a supporting role, and if they are an ingredient in some of your favourite side dishes, then most people will be able to eat one or two of these as part of their overall meal. To get through this quicker, I'll just list the names and the amount in grams that's considered low FODMAP. So we've got aubergine or eggplant 75 grams, beetroot canned 60 grams, bell pepper, the green colour is 75 grams. Now other colours of bell pepper also have low FODMAP servings, but they are considered moderate to high FODMAP foods, so I haven't included them on this low FODMAP list. Broccoli heads 75 grams, Brussels sprouts 53 grams. Now these are considered a high FODMAP food, which is why the low FODMAP portion is so small, but as they are a very common festive food, I did feel like I should add them. Cabbage, including Chinese red or white varieties, 75 grams, Cassava 75 grams, Celeriac or celery root 75 grams, corn which has been creamed and canned 60 grams, corn kernels canned 75 grams, courgette or zucchini 65 grams, cucumber both Lebanese and continental 75 grams, daikon radish 75 grams, edamame 90 grams, gherkins also known as pickled cucumbers or dill pickles 75 grams, kale 75 grams, kohlrabi 75 grams, mushrooms both the canned and fresh oyster mushrooms 75 grams, pickled onions, and they do specify large, I've no idea why that matters, 45 grams, sweet potato 75 grams, spaghetti squash 75 grams, pumpkin canned 75 grams, swede or rutabaga 75 grams, sauerkraut made from red cabbage 75 grams, spinach 75 grams, canned tomatoes, plum, roma, round or cherry 100 grams, turnip 75 grams and yam 75 grams. So I can see how many of those ingredients could be incorporated into a starter, an appetizer or a side dish to the main event. And from this list I'd definitely be adding kale, swede and red cabbage sauerkraut to my plate. And all of these vegetables are listed in the Monash app, which should be one of your primary go-to resources when it comes to determining the FODMAPs in food. It's important for the purpose of avoiding FODMAP stacking that you know which FODMAP types a food contains and not just the portion size. If you need any help with FODMAP stacking, which can be an issue especially at this time of year when we're typically eating bigger portions, multiple courses, overindulging and eating away from home, check out the link in the description box below to my FODMAP stacking blog post. You can also find all of the vegetables we've spoken about today and their portion sizes listed below. Please let me know in the comments if any of these surprised you. Are the low FODMAP portions lower or higher than you realised? Are any of your favourites missing? And which of them will be featuring on your festive plate this season? And let me know what you think of this format of video. It's much easier and more motivating for me to make these faceless podcast style videos, especially at this time of year. I hope you've enjoyed this first episode, and in our next episode we'll be featuring fruit and sharing ideas for gut-friendly desserts and snacks. Speak to you soon. Bye!